So, Nick, have you ever wanted to be more beautiful, more handsome, a better version of you? Have you ever wanted that for yourself?
Dude, have you seen this face? Come on.
I think we can improve. I think we can do better. That's where the movie The Substance comes in. So The Substance stars Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley there. So Demi Moore, she's a fading celebrity, a fading icon, as you see in the movie. You know, she won an
Mhm,
Oscar way back when. She
mhm,
has her name on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She hosts this kind of jazzercise exercise program
mhm,
on TV. But she's getting older. You know, I think
mhm.
this movie says she's 50. Even though in real life, Demi Moore, I believe, is 61. She's 61 in real life.
Uh,
And
yeah, 61 in real life.
yeah, and you have Dennis Quaid, who plays the person running the network there that her studio,
Mhm.
I mean, that her show is a part of. And
And a character who is by no coincidence also named Harvey.
yeah, pretty much a pretty big sleazeball that you have here with
Oh,
Dennis Quaid.
his introduction, it is grotesque because the entire time he's like letting her go, he's just like mainlining cocktail shrimp and just making a massive mess. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Kinda reminded me, because didn't that, Olivia Munn say that about Britt Ratner, that he smelled like
Mhm.
fish or something, like he smelled like shrimp or something?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you see him, he's kind of this grotesque dude there, head of the network, and he's like, "Yeah, I mean, you kinda just run your course, you're getting too old, we're gonna kinda kick you out." And it's like not even like a good goodbye, like he just kinda gives her shit in a box, like, "Here you go. All right, peace. Alright, see you later." Like, "Get the
It's
fuck
like
out."
while he's firing her, it's basically like Mr. Peanut Butter goodbye from BoJack Horseman. Just middle of conversation, just like, "Hey, Nicole," it just leaves.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just so just disrespectful to her. And then she's feeling down about herself until she hears about
Mhm,
the titular substance, this thing that can create another version of yourself, a younger, more beautiful,
mhm.
more sensational. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
a quote unquote perfect version of yourself.
A perfect version of yourself. And that perfect version is Margaret Qualley, who comes sprouting out of her. And yeah, and it's kind of this film that's it's about these two lives of these different people there,
Mhm.
of Margaret Qualley, who plays Sue, and of Demi Moore, who plays Elizabeth Sparkle is her name there, who's she's playing the fading actress. Um Man, I mean, this movie is a wild ride, for
Mhm.
sure. But I want to get your thoughts. Nick, what's your thoughts on the substance here?
So the substance, it just on its subject matter, because Coralie Farja, she's a director that likes to talk a lot about issues, especially when it comes to gender. With her first film, Revenge, she was talking about a little bit of rape culture and the kind of satirizing the rape revenge genre. And in a lot of that, she kind of utilizes what a lot of film historians dub the male gaze, where they uh, see a subject, a woman, through like purely a physical lens, like focusing a lot on like the eyes, the lips, their body, and using that to tell the bigger theme of the story. And this one, it's all about aging and the fear of it, especially with with the dynamic between Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley. Not just about aging, but also this impossible beauty standard that it pretty much is just women are held to, because Dennis Quaid is like comparable age to Demi Moore in the movie, and he's not held to any of that shit. Like he can be as disgusting as he wants, and nobody really cares.
Well, but he can't be as I mean, she can't be as fly as him. Did you see those suits? I mean, the man's dressed
the
in alligator
man,
skin,
the man had some drip. I will give him that.
looked like he just, skinned a cheetah before coming to work. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's very much there, and you said she did another film called Revenge there, exploring kinda some
Mhm,
similar themes there. And with this movie, you mentioned how it's exploring there of the fear of aging, the outlook that women have on that,
mhm,
and also, when you have the character of Margaret Qualley and when she kinda comes in and replaces, Demi Moore's character on that TV show that she's on and calls it, Pump It Up, so it gives it a fresh new kinda outlook. It's like
Mm.
you see, very much already ass shots and her thrusting and you see that,
Yeah,
it
it was like I thought Michael Bay directed this for a second. It was like, because goddamn, even I was getting a little tired of looking at Margaret Qualley's ass.
Yeah, and, that's a great I was gonna bring that up. So, and people say like, "Well, what's the difference between something like this and then
Mhm.
something like what Michael Bay does and things like what he did with the Transformers films or, that of the ass shots and getting all there?"
Mhm.
And I would say the difference is the subject matter that this movie is tackling
Mhm.
and the way the director, the way she's tackling it. Because the way it's shown here, yes, it is still in a kind of a sexual
Mhm.
manner, but it's also showing there, through this of the objectification of Margaret Qualley there and how she sees because she's the younger version here, the perfect
Mhm.
version that kinda comes in and is able to kind of find all this success just because of that,
Mhm.
and how she's kinda treated differently from Demi Moore, who, like I said, just got kinda just kicked out, brushed to the side,
Yeah, it was
treated
like,
as old news.
yeah,
Um,
she got kicked to the curb faster than Leo DiCaprio's girlfriend after turning 25.
yeah, that clock ran and the clock struck midnight, and it was time.
And even I think it's a line in the movie. It's like, yeah, this business is like eventually once you turn 50, it stops.
Yeah. And body horror aspect of this movie, you'll get a lot
This
of that.
was horrifying to
Yeah.
look at. It made me deeply uncomfortable, but in a way that only a great body horror movie can.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've been this grossed out in a body horror film probably
Mhm.
since The Fly, the,
Mhm.
that film oh god, David Cronenberg's there.
Mhm.
I was like, it is kinda that kinda grotesque, with a lot of stuff there, and what they kinda do here, um,
Yeah,
and
and if Barjo was kind of emulating a director like a Sam Peckinpah or a George Miller in Revenge, here she's paying loving tribute to David Cronenberg.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, you see it. And where this kind of movie takes you in the directions that it goes, you're always kind of looking to see what's going to happen next, which is always a great thing of a film. And this movie's 2 hours and 20 minutes. Didn't ever feel that length at all. I think it moves at a really great pace, as opposed to something me and Dusty reviewed last week, The Front Room, which
Mhm,
is way short. It's only like an hour and 40 minutes. That felt way longer than
mhm.
what it was because it just felt like it didn't go anywhere. This movie actually goes somewhere. This movie actually
Yeah, that
is tense. This movie
yeah,
actually,
yeah,
yeah.
this movie has tension. It has a point that it's making. It is, nonstop. And much like with Farge's last film, there is just this constant bombardment of sensory overload, whether it be through the visuals, whether it be through like these little motifs that she plays with, the just soundtrack where it is just this constant drumming in your ear.
Yeah, what they do with the camera work, how she, like, frames people, like Dennis Quaid we mentioned, like, she's all up in Dennis Quaid's face, like, all up there, zooming in on his fingers, zooming in, you know what I mean, just all up in his face, just making you
and
uncomfortable, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
and yeah, and in one of the more heartbreaking scenes in the movie where no, Demi Moore, the older version of the character, she's you know, uh, she's kind of insecure. She's getting old. She calls up a guy who knew her from uh, from her past. And it's like, hey, somebody who still thinks that she is that same person that he met back then. And
Mm,
she is just so haunted by this constantly looming billboard of her younger self that she can't bring herself to go out the door.
yeah. I mean, hearing women who review this movie said it's very relatable, very, very
Mhm,
relatable kind of scene there. So, yeah, I mean, if you're a woman, interested in hearing your thoughts,
mhm,
in the comments below, what you kind of think about this movie, and if it reflects some of your real life experience. Obviously, taken to the extreme
mhm.
here.
Yeah,
With this,
and that's kind of what this movie is. It is, a very grounded film, but it's also has this kind of heightened reality sense to it. It's like it's almost as if the world is just playing into all of Elizabeth's insecurities to a ridiculously insane degree.
yeah, Hunter said, "Men stay inside" this week. Yeah. I mean, yeah, and there's, also, much like with something, like Poor Things, not a lot
Mhm,
of sex, but nudity. Nudity is in
mhm,
here, that you see, and again, it's used to effect there of, you know what I mean, having the character look at her body, seeing all the flaws there in the body of,
mhm,
it there, and it's like, other people may tell you something of, how gorgeous
mhm.
and good looking you are, but you just don't feel that inside. You don't actually see that when you look in the mirror there, and that's what's leading Demi Moore's character to do something like this. So there's that. For me, I would say one kind of issue with the movie I have is something that, um, well, I don't think it's a spoiler to say. So, her and Margaret Qualley, they're two separate people, right? They don't
Mhm.
share a consciousness at all. They don't share memories. They don't share any of that. So it's interesting to see, like, necessarily why the person would go this far, given that, I mean, they're actually not experiencing it themselves.
Mhm.
It's like a wholly different person there. What's kinda your opinion on that?
Uh, I don't think I think the movie kind of leaves it up to interpretation about how much the other persona remembers from their time awake. Because I don't think the movie makes it clear it's like that's almost like an episode of DID where this like dormant part of you is like let out to play, or if it's like this other person is just using kind of your brain and your knowledge. Because I think that's like why a big part of why Sue, the Margaret Qualley character, got to the level she did outside of just her looks.
Mm. She already had that routine already memorized
Uh-huh.
right there. Okay, yeah, because I was kinda interested in, like, how much, you know what I mean, do you actually experience there as this other stuff?
Yeah, that is a nitpicky thing, but that doesn't really play into the themes that Farja wants to explore in this movie, so it didn't really bug me.
Mm. Yeah,
It was kind of on my mind, especially once you get towards the end of the movie.
okay. So what would be your final thoughts and rating for The Substance?
Ooh. Yeah, this is one of the best body horror movies I've seen since Cronenberg's version of The Fly. The has I think a career best performance from Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley continuing to remind me why she is one of my favorite new up and coming actresses. Coralie Farja, as far as filmmaking goes, she is 2 for 2 as far as bangers goes because this movie is excellent, tackling similar themes to Revenge while also doing a drastically different approach to it in her use of sound design, especially with the body horror, with the very uncomfortable close-ups. All of it is just meant to make you squirm, and that I did. I ate before I saw the movie, and there were points where I could feel myself starting to gag. It was like
Mm.
and for a body horror movie to accomplish that and also still have this strong thematic beat of age of these you know attacking these unrealistic beauty standards, I gotta give this peak.
Mm. Yeah.
The only reason I'm not giving it this is cinema right now is because I just saw the movie today, and I think there's a lot more here that I might have missed and might catch more on a second viewing.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, I really love this movie quite a bit.
Mhm.
At the beginning of the year, I was talking about, man, it's kind of a rough time for horror. I mean, like, Night
It
Swim,
was like
Imaginary.
Blumhouse was kind of fucking it up for everybody, but I also saw Speak No Evil, and yeah, that was all right.
Yeah, so now it's starting to a little bit turn
Oh,
around, so
okay.
you get, this movie, The Substance, and First Omen, and Long Legs, Strange Darling. Did you check out Strange Darling?
I I haven't seen Strange Darling yet.
Okay, I recommend that. Strange Darling is very
Mm,
good. So now we've seen a turnaround, a lot of these good ones there, and a lot more kind of smaller budget movies as well. I hope this movie gets kind of the attention it deserves there. Let me see what the budget on this movie was, because it looks really good. It says here the budget on it was 17.5 million. Was the
mm,
budget on this movie. I hope it makes that money back because this is very good. Like I said, the body horror aspect of it, like I said, they were very reminiscent of something like a David Cronenberg film, which is really good. The performances, the dual performances from Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley, I think is really good. Good. Margaret Qualley really having a moment.
Mhm.
She was in Kinds of Kindness this year. She was in Driveway Dolls. Man, okay, but
Yeah,
that wasn't her fault.
that wasn't great, but, the year before what was it?
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary, yes. Fuck, that was on my best of.
Yeah, Poor Things she was in as well, had a little bit of a part in that. So yeah, she's building a nice diverse portfolio there of really great movies. So great on her there. Man, I mean, if this was not maybe a horror film, maybe Demi Moore, maybe she can get some awards attention for this. I think she is that good for this. If this wasn't a horror movie, she probably would get that. But she is that good, and just the wonderful direction from Corlia Fargate there. I mean, really, really wonderful direction from her. The camera work, the cinematography of this movie,
Mhm,
the way how it just kind of holds your attention all the way through is good. And like you said, this won the best screenplay award at the Cannes Film Festival this year, and
mhm.
I can see why they're exploring all these different themes there of womanhood. So it's because of men like Nick that's the problem. Guys like them need to change. Yeah,
I'm part of the problem, yes.
he's part of the problem there. So for me, I would give it high peak bordering on This Is Cinema. I liked it quite a bit. Really loved it. So
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Nick, you gave it a kind of a peak, high
Yeah,
point.
yeah, peak bordering on cinema.
Okay, and me as
I don't know if I could recommend this to people. Just you know, because I don't know, how strong their stomach is.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, this is a movie as good as it is. You really
Mhm.
gotta know a person if this is their type of bag to really like a movie like this, given where it goes and kinda how wild it gets. Yeah, you really gotta know it. It's like it's not a simple movie to just recommend somebody.
Mhm.
If you recommend this to somebody, they see it, you might think you might have to be institutionalized. They might try to call somebody on you there.
And
So
I told my dad how much I liked Terrifier 2, and I, like, showed him a still from it, and I could, like, see in, like, his, back pocket, he was, like, dialing 911 to get take me to the loony bin.
yeah, it's like, man, I fucked up. I
Well,
failed. And you got siblings, don't you?
yeah, I have, 2 older half siblings.
Okay. Well, at least he's like, well, at least I got backups. I got other ones. Yeah, I
Mm,
don't. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm the youngest.
So yeah. Um. This will probably be on my best of list of substance. I liked it quite a bit. Yeah. So that was our review there. Check it out, people, if you can, in theaters if it's playing near
Oh,
you.
yeah.